DC here. Hi guys. Well, a bit of a vlog today, a bit of an update. Uh, last few days, been doing a lot of networking, so networking meetings, meeting up with people, getting ready also for those courses that I've told you about that I'll be doing at one of the universities. So yeah, been pretty busy. I've not had much time to get online as I would want. I guess I'm going to have to just come to grips with that there will be times that I'll just have to skim over, and that really annoys me. You know, I've subbed to some new people and some really nice people, and I realize, you know, I just probably will not be able to get to know them as well, excuse me, as some of my, you know, some of the earlier subs, and that annoys me because, you know, there's so many nice people around there, but, you know, you just can't do everything. This week, I've been listening, actually, you've probably noticed in the last few videos, I've talked sometime about radio shows. So, I was listening again to a radio show. It was a Christian radio show, and the speaker brought on 4 principles. I should call it the principle of sowing. And so not sewing, you know, making clothes, but sowing as in farm, S-O-W-I-N-G. And I thought, you know, the principles are really good because they had, in a way, you can, if you want to take them as a Christian message, you could, but as, you know, you don't have to. You don't really don't have to, because they apply, I would say, to life. And to be very frank, they're just good common sense. But, of course, in his case, he brought him on a very particular Christian message, which is, I'd like to talk to you, though, about these 4 principles, because I found them really interesting. And they were the principles of, well, he called them God's harvest, but let's call them the principle of harvest. One is the principle of investment, that you can only reap if you sow. Then there was the principle of identity, which means that you can only reap but of what you've sown. Then there's the principle of increase, which says that you always reap more than you sow. And then there was the principle of intervals, which says that even if you reap, it takes a lot more time than when you sow. And the whole idea was finally a very, what I found, in a way, a very simple way or rule of life, is that, as you know, you get in what you usually take out what you put in. And we're talking about our own life. I'm not talking about what's around me, because, of course, I cannot always influence what other people do and what's around me. But if I sow good, I am going to expect, you know, that something's going to come out of it. If I'm giving good to other people, eventually something will come out. I know you've all been bitten, I have as well, by people that I've been good to. But if you give on good, good should come back and good will be given. And finally, the idea of giving away some of yourself and a good part of yourself, you're not always doing it for the return in that respect, that somebody will immediately turn around and give you back what you've given them. It doesn't work that way. And that is actually very often that principle of intervals, I mean, of waiting. All of you have had children. We all know that sometimes it can go bad. Sometimes it can go good. And you might be right in the middle. I don't know if those God-forsaken teenage years where they could be difficult. But very often it turns back, and you can say at the end, well, it was worth it. Reaping more than you sow. I think, you know, if you give out, very often something comes back. And hopefully At least that's the principle, is it? I mean, if you're sowing corn, you'll get more than 1 ear of corn, and so on. That's it. That's what was meant there. And the principle of identity, you know, as you reap, you get back what you sow. If you sow hatred, you can be pretty certain you'll get hatred back. If you sow love, you'll mostly get love back. Now, why am I bringing all these? I think it's part, you know, of the whole, I would say, the whole situation of life that's going on right now. You know, we can't change the world. We can't change so many things that are around us. But I do realize that my microcosm around me, I can work on it. And the other thing is that I can work on myself. And that is something that's really important. If I am going to try and harvest love, I've got to give love. If I want to harvest, you know, blessings, I've got to give blessings, and so on. So when I was listening to that radio show, I was thinking very much on that line. Is that what I'd like to receive, I've got to be certain that I've got to give out. Now, if we look at our community here on YouTube, I think that is one thing that we are doing pretty well. And that is sowing friendship, sowing love, sowing blessings. I like also to sow a bit of humor. Haven't been doing it maybe as much as I could these days, but you know what I mean. I like to have a good time. I like to smile. I like a good joke. I like, you know, good company. And if you search for that, if you give that out, it's going to come back. And it's going to come back a lot. I've seen that going through my brief, but nevertheless, I would say intense YouTube life. I mean, been making vids for a little bit more than, what is it, maybe probably like 2.5 years now. And the intensity, the payback has been immense. It's helped me to gain confidence. Just a minute there, I'm making a vid. It's helped me to make confidence, to get confidence. It's helped me to learn to talk in front of a camera and so on. I mean, these are all things that I did before, but much more at ease now. And it's helped me to learn to appreciate so many of you. How many minutes? 8 minutes. It's helped me to learn to appreciate so many people out there. It's opened the world. And I know that for many of you, it's also been an opening, like if you're alone and you can't get out, the world is there, people can chat, and so on. Yeah, it's been all that. So really, I'm going to have to conclude that, you know, I really would like to encourage you, and I'm doing it myself as much as I can. Give out as much of yourself as you can. Give out the good. It'll come back. So many of you do it. All of you almost that I know do it. And we're feeling the returns. When we need it, we're feeling the returns. Yeah. That was my little update vlog for today. Mrs. DC's calling me, so I'm going to have to go over now. Well, that's it. Coming up to my usual 10 minutes. I just can't seem to get shorter. DC, signing off. Take care. Sending love to all you guys.